biggest thing for me is I do what I do because God gave me or keeps giving me information, keeps giving me just an awakening knowledge of information to share with people that I think could be a revelation to help them have the success that they need in their relationships. Even more so than that, just I think people don't accept that it's okay for you not to understand what it is that you are missing out on or not being able to get right in a relationship. The problem is when that not understanding it gets to a point where now you're not moving, you're not growing, you're not figuring it out, or you're not able to figure it out, and you're not getting the help and assistance you need to get it figured out. If you don't, then nothing changes and you continue to get the same thing you've been getting, or you get worse. So the whole purpose for me is to impart things that I really feel can help people move that needle from where you are in not being able to have what it is you desire relationship-wise, to getting to where you want and need to be, despite all of the so-called minutia that's out there. You know, all of the, oh, this guy's this and this woman acts like this. Despite all of that, there's a way to bypass those factors, and just understanding that really, I believe that programming or being programmed in a way that is basically to our detriment is the reason why we're not connecting relationship-wise, and being able to explain how that programming works and now how to get around or get through that programming to get to a place where now you are able to see what it is that can help you get to the goal that you're trying to achieve. That's really the goal that I'm set forth to do. And that's why I do what I do.
And that's kind of cool because, you know, when we were growing up and, you know, our parents and our parents' parents, they didn't really have the relationship education, right? They just kind of had to survive and had to make it as best as they could. And so, like, the value that comes from having relationship education is, like, really just having conversations and, like, figuring out what you like, what you don't like, and how that works for you in your day-to-day life. Like, what do you feel like in your personal life? What do you feel like has helped you to have something different from maybe what you have seen in the generation of people that have come before you? What do you think is like the pivotal moment or pivotal thing that made you say, you know what, I'm going to do this differently? Like, I'm going to take the information I've gotten through my relationships that I've had, and I'm going to do something different with it. Like, is there a pivotal moment or a pivotal time that made you think, like, hey, I'm going to do this differently?
For me, personally, I mean, I went through losing my mom when I was 15 years old, and that was, you know, devastating because, I mean, my mom was my everything. So that was very pivotal. And I mean, having a mom that was just incredible, you know, in my opinion. And I know everybody thinks their mom is incredible, but I just, you know, I know she was a special person based on how many other people felt that, you know, she was that way, not just my own opinion. But also just going through relationship situations, especially in my teens and early 20s, and learning from this and learning and seeing my friends, other people that I know, not just from a male perspective, but having female friends, having, you know, I have numerous nieces, cousins, things of that nature, and seeing from their side how this thing goes, and, you know, it's a different perspective. So it was like God was speaking to me like, you know, hey, you're getting the inside scoop, so to speak, of what both sides look like. And now you can impart not just on men, but on women. Okay, this is how it looks on this side of the fence. And for men, okay, this is how it looks on this side of the fence. Because the biggest thing is, it's about getting the two parties to be able to come together.
Right.
You know, and to be able to have the relationships that work for both of them. And that's where the disconnect is. So for me, it's just a cumulative collection of experiences that I've had, experiences that I've seen friends and family members have on both sides of the fence, meaning male and female, and basically bringing that information together in a way that, okay, this is how we can kind of get past these barriers and get to that connective tissue that's going to make any relationship that we have more successful. And it's understanding, like they said, communication, but understanding how to communicate in a way that is best for the woman to understand that man, for that man to understand that woman. So you're now getting that connective communication that you need in order to really progress the relationship and prosper it in a way that it will last for many, many years and decades to come.
Yeah, that's good. Because I feel like our forefathers and mothers really didn't have the information. It didn't have the wisdom to say, hey, let's communicate more. Because we were trying to survive. We were just trying to make it in life, you know, and we had to band our resources together so that we can do that. But like with this new age and now having information from the past and information in the present and hopefully using this information for the future, then now what I'm hearing you say is that we can use that information to move forward with our relationships and our marriages to make them even better. Because, right, our parents, that's all they want is for us to do better than what they did, right? So, like, that's why I love the mission, or I love the work that you have, because it is to help our relationships and our marriages become better.
Right.
You know, because good relationships, better relationships that help us to communicate better, help us to hear better, to listen better, to express ourselves better is going to lead to better marriages. Because we know that the way that we set the foundation for the marriage is the way the marriage is going to progress. You know, if you set up a foundation that's really shoddy and that's not solid and it's not firm, 5-10 years down the line, you're going to see the results of that.
Right.
And so of course, you know, we've had many conversations just about relationships in general, but we both know that it's so important to have that foundational aspect. And so, like, the work that you do is so important. You know, because if you don't have a strong foundation, then you cannot have a strong marriage. And then we're building a whole marriage into parenthood. We're building a whole marriage to withstand the test of life and the test of time. So it is like a very serious matter for us to have strong relationships, which lead to strong marriages. Yeah.
Exactly.